Well, not a bad day to be some hummingbirds. It was beautiful out there, but that has changed. We can hear the rain in our studio. It's coming down pretty hard here in Portland.
Yeah, you just mentioned it when I came downstairs, and you could really hear the rain on the roof. So the rain has arrived in Portland, and just to our east, it will continue to arrive over the next couple of hours. Now, the main concern with this is some localized flooding, but we're not looking too much in the way of widespread flooding like we saw just a few days ago. So you can see that here. In some of the yellow and orange colors, that's where some of the heavier rain is coming down. You can see that the rain has come into Portland as well. And a better look here, we have a couple little lightning bolts popping up, so there are some thunderstorms embedded in here, but there aren't going to be any widespread thunder or lightning or severe weather associated with this storm. Now, in terms of temperature, this was probably the warmest day of the week for a lot of us. Got into the upper 70s, middle 80s. We're going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow because of the rain. And low temperatures tonight, a little bit cooler inland, where up in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and it's going to be a little bit warmer down along the coast thanks to that wind sort of bringing in some of that moisture off the water. Now, like I said, it's going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow, especially because we'll start out with some fog and clouds up in the mountains, upper 60s to lower 70s there. But closer to the shoreline, that's where we'll have some upper 70s to low 80s tomorrow. Now, in terms of the humidity, it's going to be up and down over the next couple of days. After this system goes through, we'll get a drop in humidity for Friday, but then it'll spike up again Saturday and Monday for two more systems that are going to move through. So we're in a pretty active pattern, so we're going to see a lot of changes in our weather. Now here, this model is a little fast in terms of timing, but it's got the right idea for the precipitation. So we'll have to back time it a little bit, hitting the mid-coast area at just after 2 a.m. or so. And we're going to see these showers continue over the next couple of hours. Again, the main concern here is more localized flooding in areas where you've seen a lot of rain or there's been a lot of precipitation in your area already, low-lying streams and things like that. So the chances of flooding are minimal in some places, but it is going to be mostly overnight. And the issue with that is that it makes it a little bit harder to see sometimes. So you want to be aware of that. And then the rain is going to get into the eastern areas of the state as we get into just before sunrise. However, this system moves pretty quickly, and it'll set us up pretty well for a nice Friday, as well as a good start to the weekend. However, another system is going to come in for the end of the weekend, which will put a little bit of a damper on that. But at least we get to have a good start to Saturday. A little bit of fog possible in the morning, but otherwise it shapes up to be a half-decent day with a couple of showers in the afternoon. If you're going to be out on the water, seas 3 to 4 feet and water at 65. So in terms of our 7-day forecast, tonight we have that rain moving through. Again, localized flooding is a concern there. And then as we go into Friday, things begin to clear out pretty well. A couple of showers and thunderstorms possible in the afternoon. Then as we get into Saturday, certainly the pick of the weekend, a lot nicer out there. Sunday, however, showers return and we get into some more of that humidity as well. And then we'll have a pretty active weather pattern, Alex, so it's very reminiscent of earlier in the summer where we kind of had a lot of storms one after another.
Right.
But the concern tonight, a little bit of flooding possible.
Okay, thank you, Dana.
Of course.